So what is tuple in Python? So in Python, tuples are very similar to list. So we know what is list is, right? And it is saying that in Python that tuple is related to the list. You can see. However, unlike list, they are immutable. See, list can be mutable, means we can change the values inside the list. But here, once we created a tuple, we cannot change it. You would use a tuple to present things that should not be changed, such as days of week or date or on a calendar. Now, what is the usage of tuple when we cannot change the values inside the tuple? So you might have seen some of the applications, like let's say like invoice generation. Okay, let's say I want to I have a supermarket and I have installed a software in which I am creating the bill invoice for the item that has been purchased from my supermarket. So if I'll use tuple on that, so what will happen is this particular object cannot be changed. So once the value has been given to this particular object, that cannot be changed at all. And this is a very good uh, functionality of tuple, that once the value has been given to the tuple, that value cannot be changed further. So in this particular, we are going to learn how we can construct the tuple. What are the basic tuple methods we have? What do you mean by immutability? That we'll see. And when to use tuple. Let's go one by one. Unlike dictionary and list, if we want to create a tuple, we have to use the small brackets. Okay. This is the way how we can create the tuple. So if you want to create the list, let's say if I have to change it and you want to make it the list, you have to use square bracket. If you want to use you want to make a dictionary, you have to use a key value pair, right? You have to make a key value pair like this, and what you have to do is you have to close it with the curly braces. So this is nothing but the example of dictionary. Yes. And if you want to create the tuple, so what you have to do is you have to use the small bracket. Inside that, whatever value will put, it is just a tuple. So this is a tuple of 3 values, 1, 2, 3, and we have given it to t. If you want to know the type of tuple, you just write it here, type t. It will give you the value. What is it? It is of tuple type, right? So this is a tuple in Python, right? Yes, this is the tuple in Python. And many of the functionality which is used in list, all those functionality will be used here, like len function. If you want to find out the length of the tuple, that you can do. Length means how many items are there inside the tuple. Here also there is no restriction in the data type. Whatever we want to put in the tuple, we can put it. Like we can put the string, we can put the integer, right? That is also taken by the tuple. The indexing is also same as the integer. Let's say if you want to do indexing t minus 1, so it will go and print the last value, right? T minus 2, then before that, this is t minus, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, right? So if I'll do minus 2, it is going to print this value. If you want to print the first value, you can use 0, right? T0 means it will give you this value, right? So indexing is same as in the list. It doesn't have to bother about it. Let's say some basic tuple methods. So one of the method related to the tuple is index method. So we can find it out what is the index of that particular item. Let's say we have an item y, which is a character, 1 which is a string, 2 which is a integer, x is another character, and 1 is another what? Another string here. So when we put all these things into the tuple t, and when we use the method index of any value, it will give me the index of that. Yes, it is giving me the index 0. Just run it. It is giving me the index 0. If I will say 1, it will give me the 1. Even though we have 2 ones here, it will give me whatever it find the first time, right? Let's say you want to find out the index of 2. It is 2. You want to find out index of x. In that way, it will give you the index value. Now let's go to another method related to the tuple is count. So count will count how many those items are there. So let's say if I want to count x, how many x are there in the tuple? 1x. So this particular will give me 1 as output. Let's say I want to count 1 into that particular tuple. It will give me, like, I have 2 ones are there. This is another 1 and this is another 1. So when we count 1, it will give me 2, right? This is how your method is going to work related to tuple. Let's see what do you mean by immutable. So let's say this is t. What is t0? What is t0? T0 is 1. Let's say you want to change the value of 1 to 2. Can we change it? No, we cannot change it. But that thing we can do in the list. If we are creating a list, we can change it. Let's say if I want to create a list, let's say I'll create a list, list 1, and I'll put some values here, the same as that. Right? All these values. Now your list is created, right? And you want to find out what is inside the list, you just write it down, list 1. It will give you the values inside it. Let's say you want to change some of the values here. So I'll change list 0 value and I'll put it instead of that 2. Can I do that? Yes, I can do that. It is working. And let's say we'll print list again. So in the 0th location, we have 1 that has been changed to 2. See, that has been changed to 2. That happened in the list. If I'll create the tuple, here if I'll create the tuple p, then what is going to happen? Then this cannot be done. So here, if you'll see, the t is 1, 1, 2 and x. And let's say in the t, the 0th location will be 2. If I'll do that, it will give me the error. And let's see what is the error. It says that tuple object does not support item assignment. Means we cannot do any type of mutation here. So mutation is not at all, or updation is not at all possible here. That's why tuple is an immutable list, you can say, or tuple is an immutable object, you can say. Because of this immutability, tuple cannot grow. Means once we created the tuple, we cannot append anything. Once the tuple is made, you cannot add it. Okay. So the append is also not going to work in T. So if you want to append it, it will also give you the error. And that error is object has no attribute called append. So append is not the method used in the tuple. Append is a method we'll use in the list. Now, when to use tuple? You may wondering why bother using tuple when they have fewer available methods. To be honest, tuple are not used as often as list in programming, but are used when immutability is necessary. I told you one application where immutability is necessary. If you are, if in your program you are passing around an object and need to make sure it does not change, then the tuple become your solution. It provide a convenient source of data integrity. So data integrity means data cannot be changed once it has been created. So I think you must have understood that what is the meaning of tuple, how we'll create the tuple, and what are the restrictions related to the tuple, and what are the different applications related to the tuple.